beyond the cube.
Beyond it.
The
Way past it.
powerful one. The powerful one is with me once again this week. Corey Hughes.
That's me.
The extraordinaire.
I'm here.
Are you doing well tonight?
Yes.
And
Oh, Cube, you froze on me.
okay, I mean, it was a little bit. I mean, it was like, hey. I mean, obviously, the stream felt the power, had so much power resonating through it that it couldn't handle the bandwidth. You know what that is? Yeah. That much power. We're hoping everybody's doing well tonight on all the platforms we're streaming on. We're on YouTube. We're on Rumble. We're on Twitter. We're on Twitch. Corey, we have successfully did 3 streams on Twitch without me getting any type of strike or anything.
No one getting any strikes on anything? Really? No strikes on nothing? Okay, all right. You know, all right.
No, I mean, I'm talking about 3, Corey. I was expecting it to go ahead and just, nix my whole account after the first one. So that's expecting it, especially when you said Jewish niggas.
The Jewish niggas.
Yeah. I was like, all right, there it is, boys. Let's go ahead and stick a fork in Twitch. It was good. It was good to be around while we had the opportunity. We'll catch y'all next time. That's what's going to happen. But for some reason, they have allowed us to stay up there. Maybe they see something in us. Maybe not. But I mean, hey, I would like to think that they do. Okay, that's what we would like to think. So we've got a jam-packed episode this week. I want to kind of give a little announcement. If y'all have not had a chance to check out our Showtime with the Cube episode that we did on Tuesday that we live streamed, covering the first 2 episodes of The Penguin, please go check that out. Okay, it's on all your podcast platforms. You can also watch that if you like to watch the video footage on YouTube, Rumble, and Twitter. It is on my Twitter page as well. So make sure y'all checking us out for that. We're going to have more Showtime with the Cube coming to you because we got a lot that we're going to cover. Okay, we're going a whole lot. Of course, the Penguin. We're going to get into the Rings of Power. I think Corey's going to Corey, that face, dude. I mean, we did halfway through, and then we're going to do the second half. Now, me and Corey both have to watch the second half because we stopped watching after we watched the first 4 episodes. But we got that. I think Corey's going to be checking out Trap sometime shortly, the new M. Night Shyamalan movie. And also, Corey, we have Salem's Lot coming out. Max has redone that, and I believe that is out now. I think you can actually watch it now. No, it's a movie. This is just a straight movie, Salem's Lot. So Max just redid that. So that is out now. So I believe that me and my girlfriend will probably be checking that out this Sunday. Sundays when we usually watch a movie together. So we'll probably be checking that out. So we got a lot we're going to be bringing to y'all over the next few weeks. So we will be busy. But let's go ahead jump into this episode of Beyond the Cube. Corey, the VP debate was this week. Okay, did you catch any of it?
I tried to, but then I realized that it was an absolute utter snooze fest, and I think that we had a show to do, and that was more important than watching that shit debate. So
yeah, we did the show. I caught a few tidbits of it.
Yeah, I caught tidbits. I love how they were not fact checking, but then they fact checked the motherfucker, and he's like, "No, bitch, you can't fact check. Fuck you. I'll fact check your ass." That exchange was pretty good. That was a highlight of the night. But everyone is saying that he beat Waltz in the debate. And that's obviously a good thing, but like the instant reactions that I was seeing from like Jimmy Dore and a couple of the other people who did like the live stream, covered it live, live, nobody thought that anybody won that debate. Live, they thought it was a wash. Everyone who I saw thought it was a wash. And so the fact that, and they basically said the fact that Waltz didn't lose, decisively was a win for him. Right. But it's seemingly that the current, review of the situation is that Waltz definitely lost that debate. And the guy's stupid. I mean, the guy's a moron.
Yeah. And we've got some clips up here, but we're full of clips this week. OK, we've got plenty of those. I want to preface Scott Jennings, which I'm actually a fan of this guy because he's actually pretty funny. The cat over at CNN, is he the lone Republican over there? I think they said we've got to have one. Okay, his standing as a Republican. But this is what Scott Jennings had to say about Tim Walz before the debate, and we've got some moments from the debate as well. Well, one moment that's key. So let's see what Scott Jennings got to say right now.
Walz is a buffoon. I'm sorry. This guy, he's the only school teacher in America who brags that none of his students can get into an Ivy League school.
I had 24 kids in my high school class, and none of them went to Yale.
He's had one consequential press interaction with our Dana Bash, who asked him about the fabrications in his own resume, and his answer was essentially, me no understand words good.
My wife, the English teacher, told me my grammar's not always correct, but again,
I mean, he's a buffoon. He's on a side for running under Harris. He gets very little press. They don't let him talk to the press for a reason. I want one thing out of this debate. I want J.D. Vance to go out there and get under his skin. He has legendary hot, short temper. A lot of governors do, but apparently he does. I want J.D. Vance to go out there and have him explain why he is denigrating J.D. Vance's story. Small town America ends up making something better out of his life, which is something we should want for every kid.
So that was the preface before the actual debate, and I can tend to agree with Scott Jennings on this one. Walz is a buffoon. Okay, there's like no doubt about it. This is like 100%. Like, he almost seems overly animated. Doesn't he seem like that to you? Like, every time he's like jumping all over the place. It's like, dude, are you okay? Do you need your medication? You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm an advocate of people taking their medicine. All right. If it's Monday, open up the Monday packet. Okay. Take all of them. All right. Don't leave nothing out. Okay. I want you to take all of them. But it seems that he has that much animation because he's trying to cover up the fact that maybe he's not as good in the whole politics manner. And it just kind of makes me wonder, what's going on with the actual state that elected him governor. I'm like, this
because these fucking idiots
for Slim.
Because these communists will vote for blue no matter who. Remember, blue no matter who is what they say. They admit to this. This is like they brag about it. They literally brag about blue no matter who. Because here's the deal. This is the problem with politics, is that the politics of 20 years ago is not the politics of today, is not the politics of the 80s or of the 60s or of the fucking 40s. There are dynamic pole shifts that occur within the parties, okay? It always flip-flops. Like the example I always use is Lyndon Johnson is a fucking Democrat. Are you joking? Lyndon Johnson is as conservative as it fucking gets. Okay. But in modern day, he'd been a Republican. But in 1963, he was a fucking Democrat, right? Part of the Southern strategy, right? And so we have this major fucking fracture with the George Bush presidency, George Bush Jr., and the 9/11 shit, all that stuff.
Right. Okay.
You see, because those cocksuckers, even though they call themselves Republicans and they vote along more conservative lines, the neocons are not Republicans. Those people are not Republicans. The belief systems of those people and the politics of those people are so fucking radical in their own right that they really should have been history should deem them another political party. Totally foreign to the Republican Party of today. And so these blue no matter who people get stuck on I hate George Bush, so fuck Trump. Right? And it's like, oh my God, there's nuance here, people. You're so fucking retarded. These lefties, like, here, I can't blame them in particular because 95% of people out there don't have a fucking clue what they're talking about when it comes to politics. It's enraging talking to people about politics because they don't understand a goddamn anything. Really. And honestly, I've been into politics and pretty heavy into politics for at least the last 20 years, 15 to 20 years at least. And honestly, global politics didn't even make sense to me until I fucking read Mein Kampf. Like, everything fell into place, like, because you understand the structures and what goes on behind the scenes and what really is the roots of culture, which politics is meant to govern, right? And so you learn a whole lot of stuff that I never even considered, politically speaking. And so that was kind of like one of the last building blocks of my political education. And not to say that Hitler and that ideology was anything, not to focus on the ideology itself, but the framing of politics in general, how Hitler put it, is undeniable, truly undeniable. And when you come to understand, the roots of all the problems going on in the fucking world, not as far as blame goes, but as far as culturally and what they actually are and how to address them from the start, find that liberalism is a gross failure. We cannot. There are certain things we just can't do. Like, I have no problem with gay people. They can be as gay as they want. Go suck all the dicks you can. Okay, I don't care. Russia, I think, handles the situation pretty well. Because you can't have there's no pride parades. You're not putting out gay books. You're not propagandizing children about how great it is to be gay. You can't do any of that stuff, but you don't get locked up for being gay. Right. But they have pretty strict laws in regards to the social structure that surrounds the LGBT stuff. Right. It's very compartmentalized. It's frowned upon and it's not encouraged. Okay. That is an absolute necessity if you want to encourage a society to grow in population and hence grow a culture. Really, because the world, including Russia, is suffering population collapse right now. Vladimir Putin is offering all kinds of incentives to people to have children because of population collapse. So in the face of population collapse globally, especially here in America, especially among white populations, how the fuck can you promote any kind of lifestyle that is about not having children? You shouldn't, period. I mean, at all. It should be something, if you don't want to have children, that's one thing. But to have a lifestyle that is fundamentally based around the fact that you're not going to have children. And why are these people gay in the fucking first place? Well, who knows? It's partly genetic as far as genes that activate in life. Experience is actually translated through your gene expression. So you have genes that don't activate until later on, and you can have certain genes that activate due to certain environmental conditions or certain experiences. So you can have an experience when you're 2 or 3 years old that activates the gay genes in you, for sure. So what does that mean? It means that you have to address some of the behavioral causes of this stuff, right? And so ultimately, and this is just an example of how you have to have a strict social framework, and the freedom that a society can enjoy has to exist within that strict social framework. Otherwise, you face things like we're facing in America: population collapse, fucking mass immigration, destroying everything. Look at what they're doing to goddamn San Francisco, all these communist fucking policies, right? Like, this is what happens when you don't safeguard social structures, right?
Right.
And for getting married and having a family and children should absolutely 100% be encouraged. And I'm a hypocrite because I just never did it. I just never did, and I don't, do I regret it? No, not at all. I never had time. I never would have wrote my book or done any of the things if I didn't have kids, right? If I did have kids, but my life would have been totally different. And I'm totally okay with that. But on a large scale, we need people to be pumping out kids like it's fucking going out of business for real.
Well, so the premise with that is that a lot of men end up not having kids, but the majority of women end up having kids from the same men.
Right. Sure.
That's just the way it works. I mean, because we are driven by instinct in nature, and so what happens in nature? The strongest males, and out there they fight for it. But here, the perceived strongest males get to procreate with all the women. That's just it.
Yeah, but this isn't happening in well-to-do, high-class neighborhoods or social strata. Period. The vast majority of kids getting spit out's happening in lower class, societal cliques, ultimately. And so those men are not the fucking top of the food chain.
Well. Okay, so we can say that, but I would argue that throughout history that the more powerful men probably had sex and had kids with a whole bunch of lower class women that they were able to just throw to the side. As opposed to you're not really able to do that now as as a fish, like there's eyeballs on you. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to you in the 1500s. You know what I'm saying? When you're the king, I mean, you just you just go bust your royal nut. I
Yeah, you're
mean,
talking. It was Tiger Woods all day long.
yeah, yeah. What is it? What if we get biblical with it? I want to get a little biblical with it. Was it King Solomon? 400 wives and 600 concubines. Man could fuck for 3 years and not hit the same piece of punani. You know what I'm saying? That is impressive. Okay. Yeah. And literally, guys, 3 straight years he wouldn't hit the same piece. That's crazy. That's actually insane to even think about. Yeah, I wouldn't even want that kind of pressure. It seemed like a little bit too much pressure.
I don't even
King
know if I
Solomon,
believe
I'm
some of
impressed.
these stories, man. Some of these stories about
I'm
like
just
Genghis
I'm letting
Khan
you
and
know.
fucking Wilt Chamberlain. Like, I just don't buy them.
I don't know, man. Hey, look, bud, they put that stuff out there. You know what I'm saying?
So Wilt Chamberlain said he
I
banged
call
like 10,000 women. How many days? If you banged one woman a day for 10,000 days, how many years is that? It's like 30 fucking years. That's a little
yeah, it would
unrealistic.
be. So he's hitting a few every night. Well, we had I did multiple videos on the young lady who Annie Knight, Australian OnlyFans creator. She slept with I think it was last year, or
300.
year before. She slept with 300.
She's shooting
She's
for
going to
600.
600. She's trying to
I
get
know.
600. Yeah, I mean, so the age. You know what I'm saying? You got to be putting it in. You got to be putting in work. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, she's going on dates, like a real date. Like she was like,
So does she just schedule
I
3
just
guys a day? Like they go out to lunch and then they fuck and then she goes out to dinner and then she fucks and then
no. This the other guy. She was like, I'm really interested in this guy, but I had one of my regulars come over and bang me out before we went out on a date. I said, there's no way that I can be paying for this. All right, like I'm not like when you say we're going out on a date, I'm just assuming we're going back to your crib. That's I mean, that's what I'm assuming. Like, I'm not taking you to dinner, and that you're definitely a pass around. I thought that's why I was here. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think this, but she said she's seriously looking for love. So I mean, hey, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's looking for love.
well, that's just, it's hilarious. Like you go on motherfucking Tinder, and I swear to God, these fucking hoes on Tinder, they'll be like looking for long-term relationship, and you go to the second picture, and it's like their ass in the mirror. It's like what? It's like, bitch, I want to see your library card and what books you've read in the last 6 months. You looking for a relationship, motherfucker?
Does the Kama Sutra count?
No.
I mean, come on, Corey. I mean, I think that is definitely a book. We're trying to get organic with it. What they say, spicing the activities. That's what we're trying to do. Trying to see what type of position I can get it in. Look, guys, stick to the core positions and everything will be okay. All right. There's a core 4 positions. No need to stray. Hey, the world was created on these core 4 positions. All right. Trust your boy on this. Okay. Y'all be getting too exotic with your position. And you know what I'm saying? And a lot of your positioning has to do with length. And if you don't have the requisite length, the position just ain't gonna work for you. Okay. So you gotta understand your limits out here. And I think that's where we're running into issues. You know what I'm saying? So I mean that's the sex cue list for the night. I don't want to let Waltz off the hook, okay? I don't want to let him off the hook yet, because he is a serial misspeaker. Okay? That's what he is. He misspeaks.
But hey, man, no. No. He's just got some problems with words and grammar and stuff. It ain't no big deal.
Obviously, he's serial now, okay? Because every chance he gets, but he has misspoken. All right. I was. Well, you see, when I said that I used assault weapons in war, what I meant was that I got excited and accidentally said some shit that wasn't true. I mean, it's what I'm saying. I got excited. So actually, on the debate night, they actually quizzed him because he said that he was at Tiananmen Square during the protest and the massacre. He said he was there. He was there. So they were like, okay, Waltz, from what we're seeing, you won't there. So can you explain that to us? So we're gonna see his explanation. This is one of the best explanations I've heard in a while right here. So let's let this thing roll out.
Governor Walz, you said you were in Hong Kong during the deadly Tiananmen Square protests in the spring of 1989. The Minnesota Public Radio and other media outlets are reporting that you actually didn't travel to Asia until August of that year. Can you explain that discrepancy?
Yeah, well, and to the folks out there who didn't get at the top of this, look, I grew up in small rural Nebraska.
What's that got to do with anything?
Town that you rode your bike with your buddies till the streetlights come on, and I'm proud of that service. I joined the National Guard at 17.
Hold on a second. You got to pause this real quick. You got to pause this. All right, hang on a second. Let me try. So he's the guy that rode his bikes with his friends until the lights came on, and he's proud of that service. Is that what he just said? He's proud of the service of riding bikes? No, we got to start this.
Let's rewind it back. All right, I'm gonna rewind it back just to make sure you didn't mishear him. Okay, he misspeaks. We're gonna make sure you didn't mishear. Okay.
Can you explain that discrepancy?
Yeah, well, and to the folks out there who didn't get at the top of this, look, I grew up in small rural Nebraska, town of 400, town that you rode your bike with your buddies till the streetlights come on, and I'm proud of that service. I joined.
There it is, Corey. This is how you open with the explaining the lie about you being in Tiananmen Square when the folks were killed. He's proud of the service of riding his bicycle until the lights came on. I didn't realize that was a service, Corey.
I didn't either.
I mean, I might have did a few things that were service like then. I mean, last week I played basketball for 7 hours, on Saturday and Sunday combined. Yeah. I ain't getting no salute afterwards, though. Came home tired and all. Ain't nobody salute me or nothing, you know what I'm saying? Went to Smoothie King, got my smoothie, and came right home. I was like, damn, no applause or nothing.
Oh, you got a smoothie too?
Being able to
yeah. Thank you, sir.
Let me let this dude
join the National Guard at 17. Worked on family farms, and then I used the GI Bill to become a teacher, passionate about it, a young teacher. My first year out, I got the opportunity in the summer of '89 to travel to China. 35 years ago, be able to do that. I came back home and then started a program to take young people there. We would take basketball teams, we would take baseball teams, we would take dancers, and we would go back and forth to China. The issue for that was to try and learn. Now, look, my community knows who I am. They saw where I was at. Look, I will be the first to tell you, I have poured my heart into my community. I've tried to do the best I can, but I've not been perfect. And I'm a knucklehead at times, but it's always been about that. Those same people elected me to Congress for 12 years. And in Congress, I was one of the most bipartisan people, working on things like farm bills that we got done, working on veterans benefits. And then the people of Minnesota were able to elect me to governor twice.
Okay, Corey. So I'm gonna pause this right quick.
He said the word farm twice. And just notice this. He said the word farm twice.
Yeah, and I want to also say that Andy, who was watching us live, he said that he's proud to say that he served as well. Okay, so we appreciate your service as well, Andy.
Yes, appreciate your service.
So we appreciate him. But so far, have you heard him answer the question yet?
No.
I think he's getting close. I think
he just admitted he was involved in some sort of Chinese child trafficking operation. That's what I fucking heard.
Oh man, definitely a pause. Finish.
So look, my commitment has been from the beginning to make sure that I'm there for the people, to make sure that I get this right. I will say more than anything. Many times I will talk a lot. I will get caught up in the rhetoric. But being there, the impact it made, the difference it made in my life, I learned a lot about China. I hear the critiques of this. I would make the case that Donald Trump—
He said China like 5 times
with us. I guarantee you he wouldn't be praising Xi Jinping about COVID. And I guarantee you he wouldn't start a trade war that he ends up losing. So this is about trying to understand the world. It's about trying to do the best you can for your community. And then it's putting yourself out there and letting your folks understand what it is. My commitment, whether it be through teaching, which I was good at, or whether it was being a good soldier or was being a good member of Congress, those are the things that I think are the values that people care about.
Governor, just to follow up on that, the question was, can you explain the discrepancy?
All I said on this.
Governor, to follow up, seeing how you had 2 minutes of that soliloquy that you just laid out before us that didn't actually have anything to do with anything, like at all. Can we get back to the Tiananmen Square about how you actually weren't there when folks got killed? Listen, we appreciate that. Let's see what he got to say about it.
As I got there that summer and misspoke on this, so I will just. That's what I've said. So I was in Hong Kong and China during the democracy protests went in. And from that, I learned a lot of what needed to be in governance.
I mean, he about folded up right there. This is the guy right here that if Harris wins, okay, and for some reason Harris gets taken out, this is the guy who they will put up there next. Like we're damn, Bo. I mean, we getting rough. We getting rough around the edges. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and a lot of people was like, well, damn, maybe Harris should have did what everybody thought that she should have done and picked Josh Shapiro to run as the VP.
No, Jews ain't popular right now.
Josh Shapiro.
He's a Jew. That's all you need to know. He's not popular. Not popular right now. No. 1 star. I do not recommend.
You say he's a 1-star Jew, right? He's not a 5-star Jew.
No.
Who would you just?
Is that a contradiction in terms?
Maybe not. I mean, there's a good Jew out there. Who's a 5-star Jew?
Jesus.
Oh yeah, there he is. So we have to go. We have to get back away from the 5-star Jew. My goodness, man, this is some horrendous stuff. Okay. Now the media did not let Waltz off the hook at all. Okay, they questioned him the next day about his comments during the debate. So I want to make sure we get all the walls up here. Okay, this is MSNBC. They're reporting live on them. Okay, so
hang on a second. I got to say real quick. You showing all of this video of Walls here. What you're doing is you're engaging in election interference at this point in time, my friend. You're trying to sway people away from voting from Mr. Walls, and therefore you need to be criminally prosecuted.
Is it that deep?
Is that deep? Or it will be. Mark my fucking words.
Well, I'm gonna continue to do it for now because I got a bunch of clips. I ain't saved these clips for no damn reason. Okay.
Yeah, look, I have my dates wrong. I was in Hong Kong and China in 1989.
Why has he got the retard in the background?
Into China, it was profound for me. That was the summer of democracy. I said it's where I understood how sacred democracy was. It's what encouraged me, about 15 back and forth with my students, taking them to China to understand both, first of all, the culture, but also to teach Chinese students about democracy. That was part of it. I was one of the first group of high school students. There weren't a lot of times that there were high school teachers in there that you could teach.
Now, do you believe he was over there teaching China high school students about democracy? I mean, that's what they allowed you to come in.
That's like flying into Afghanistan and teaching the Taliban about women's rights.
It's like, dog, this don't even sound right. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, they let me into high school so I can teach these Chinese kids about how America's so much better because you're free over there. But I guarantee you that ain't what they let you do. All right. So he might have misspoke here again, okay? Which is okay. serial misspeaker.
Teach in a Chinese high school. And so you've seen me, these teachers see me, I speak like everybody else speaks. I need to be clear, I will tell you that, but here's my whole point on that thing.
Fetterman's, you know, it's bad when Fetterman laughs at you.
China.
Fetterman back there giggling.
Fetterman just laughed at him.
A hell of a lot better than Donald Trump. Kamala Harris understands China. I will tell you this, Xi Jinping is not someone you should look up to. Xi Jinping is not someone who you should say does a good job on things, as Donald Trump has said about COVID. And my point on this was, Donald Trump got played on a trade war. He created the largest deficit with China in American history, and he cost us 150,000 jobs. So my clarity to take away from the message is something I want to be very clear. August of '89, into Hong Kong, into China, 15 times with students to try and do this. My point being on this, Kamala Harris and I understand American jobs are more important than where Donald Trump tried to save Chinese jobs.
Okay. So they said he tried to save some Chinese jobs. So, I mean, so what this is teaching me is that whenever you're wrong or you make up a fabrication, you can just say, I mixed my dates up.
Yeah.
Do you think that'll work?
Yes.
So that should work. So I'm going ahead. I'm giving people a pass. I guess I'll have to. Okay. If we're going to have somebody running for VP, somebody who's the governor of a state says, I know you may think it's a lie, but I just mixed my dates up. I think you would know concrete if you were there when the folks got killed in Tiananmen Square. If you were like standing right there, like you would definitely know that. Like you wouldn't have mixed that up at all. Death, destruction right there in front of you. Like I'm not gonna mix that up. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like the people who are surviving the flooding and stuff in Asheville right now and other parts of Tennessee and everything. Like if you weren't there, like you're not gonna mix your dates up and say, oh yeah, I was there. It's like, did you get flooded? Well, no. Then you won't dare. You know what I'm saying? So this seems like a thing that you can do now, and it's okay. People overlook it. All right. And Corey, from what you were saying, people were saying that it was fairly evenly matched as far as the debate goes. I'm not sure how.
Yeah. Well,
you know I was saying.
I mean, who'd you think won? You think Vance won?
Well, I mean, Vance would have to win by default because he seems to be more of a serious character. You know what I'm saying?
There's something about him I like. Not that I give a fuck about his politics, because none of these fucking idiots know what the fuck they're doing. But
correct.
He's a nice, pretty face for the Republican Party. He's young. He could be around the next 30 years. You know what I mean?
Right.
What is he, in his 30s or early 40s?
Yeah, I believe so. Mm-hmm. I think it's like 37, 38, something like that.
Yeah, he could be molded. He could be molded well if the right people get behind him. But who knows who knows what the right people are these days, Yeah,
you really don't know. It's kind of a crapshoot on that. So I've got let's see what I've got. I've got one more clip from Scott Jennings. Okay, and this is post debate. And he's actually speaking about how people always go in on J.D. Vance's line, Trump's line, but then when Walz and Harris lies, nobody has nothing to say. Nobody fact checks them or anything. So let's go ahead. We're going to let that thing roll out right now.
We have an old president in office.
Okay, so everybody seems to be worried about J.D. Vance and dishonesty, or Donald Trump and dishonesty. I never hear the same concern about Harris and the lies that she tells about Trump, or in Walz himself, who gave the most disastrous response to a question about his own dishonesty about being in Tiananmen Square that I've ever heard in a debate. He also did the same thing with Dana Bash when questioned about dishonesty a couple of months ago. And effectively what he has said is, sorry, guys, I'm too dumb to tell the truth. I mean, he called himself a knucklehead. I have bad grammar. This is a guy who holds himself up to be a school teacher and a coach. Is that the life lesson he's giving the kids that are under his care? Hey, you can lie. You can just kind of slough off and think, too dumb to tell the truth. I think we spend 99% of our time going down rabbit holes about Vance and Trump and honesty in campaigns, and we spend no time at all holding Walz and Harris to the same standard. And I don't understand it.
We have an old
So that, which is true. This is true, and they actually did try to fact check JD Vance live when they said they weren't going to.
Yep.
And
Was it on climate change? Because I remember the bitch said something about no. Its consensus is that the planet is warming.
Yeah, one was that, and I think one was on immigration as well. And I think the one that was on immigration is when JD Vance just straight up came back and said, "Now y'all said y'all won't go fact check." I mean, like he just straight up went in. They eventually had to mute his mic because he was going in on them.
Well, I couldn't believe they gave him that 30 seconds or whatever it was because that wasn't part of his scheduled time, but I guess they would have looked like a bunch of fucking, totalitarians by not giving him the time.
Right, of course. So this is something that you can do now. You can just say, hey, I'm a buffoon. So, hey, every once in a while, this is type of stuff I say. Okay. Chris said, which for some reason is not showing up on YouTube. I can probably see why. But it says supposedly Vance molests couches. We shouldn't vote for him. I was not aware of that. Okay, I was not aware of that at all. So that's new information. This is alleged, of course. All right, everything's alleged. So yeah, that's the guy that if Harris wins and something were to happen to Harris, that would be the guy who would be quote unquote running things, which I think would be a disaster within itself.
Well, you saw that meme this week. I'm sure you saw that meme that had like George Bush and it said, "Who can I get that's dumber than me?" And it had Obama and it said, "Who can I get that's dumber than me?" And then it had fucking Joe Biden. It said, "Who can I get that's dumber than me?" And then it had the picture, Kamala and Waltz. So it's like, that's pretty much what they're doing. Yeah,
we just keep moving down, keep moving right down the run. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. So we're gonna pivot right over into this that just came out over the past week, and it's how hot girls became the right's new obsession.
They did?
Okay. Yeah.
I
was not aware of this. Guys, leave it in the comment section below. Women too. Because I think women even enjoy hot women. All right. So, men, let us know. Are you into hot women? All right. And if you're not quote unquote into hot women or enjoy looking at hot women, does that automatically make you liberal in nature? I thought even liberals like hot women. Is this not the case, Corey?
I thought so. Liberals are gay, if you didn't know.
So they can't help it. So we got this right here. Okay. This is straight from Newsweek, okay? How hot girls became the right's new obsession. So, okay. And it actually.
Well, hold on a second. I'm assuming that if this is the truth, then these hot girls are an obsession because they're pushing back against the fucking gay left.
You think that would be the case?
Yes, 100%. Like, look at these titties. Come on, look at these titties.
Sydney Sweeney.
Sydney Sweeney, look at them titties, bro. She got great tits. I even Googled them. And so, yes, I like promoting women as objects. That's how it's meant to be. It's how it's always been. It's how it should always be.
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of is what it is. It's in our biological nature to do so.
Here's the deal.
You know what I'm saying?
If men didn't want to fuck you, they would have no need for women at all. Period.
Yeah,
that's the fucking base of it, okay? So there's a lot of ugly women out there, so the good looking ones should be fucking jumping on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got a good point there. You got a good point there. And a lot of it seems to be centered around Sydney Sweeney's appearance on SNL. Okay. The actress had become the so-called conservative hot girl, a pinup for the modern day right-wing movement, as it attempts to expand the appeal of conservatism beyond the confines of its largely older white male base. There it is, Corey. Largely older white male.
Well, here's the
Okay.
deal. Like,
So I
honestly, like, I don't know how. Here's the deal. Like, ultimately, I don't think the older white male base gives a fuck about expanding conservatism, particularly if it means into other ethnic groups. I just don't think that's a concern for them. I think that's a thing for the younger people. That's the younger Republican base is wanting to do that. The older, you got to think, the older fucking guys are George Bush and Dick Cheney still. That hasn't changed. You know what I mean? So it's up to the younger generation to expand that. But I don't think the older white male generation wants that at all.
Right. Now,
And the hot tour girl, I don't get it all. This is people are saying she's an op. That's the dumbest thing ever. It's not an op. It's just some weird pop culture fucking bullshit that somebody cashed in on real quick. You know,
I got something to say about that, Corey, because
so the CIA is going to send some girl out there to go talk about spitting on a dick. Give me a break. It's the dumbest fucking fucking conspiracy I've ever fucking heard of in my goddamn life. Like, even the CIA ain't that fucking dumb, really.
oh man, Corey,
Does that make sense? I mean, do I make sense?
You don't think she could be an op? She said she gonna hot tui on that thing, spit right on it, and then that's the op. You see, I think this is something that I've been thinking about over the past week, and it's actually concerning to me. Is that on this side of the media that we're on, every time something happens, somebody says, op, distraction. I'm like, bud, some shit just happens organically. Some folks are just dumb. I mean, it's like it kind of makes our movement and stuff like not serious. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, it's just every single thing. It's just op or distraction or government involvement. It's like, no, some people are just stupid. Sometimes things just happen organically, and it ain't got nothing to do with anything. It just happened, you know. And so I think we get too caught up in niche things like that we actually miss the mark on what we need to be actually concerned about and actually pushing towards. I don't know if you have similar thoughts on people who are on the more conspiratorial side of the media.
Well, it's always weird and leaves people questioning when literally new faces come into the media space and just get 1 million followers like seemingly overnight, right? That is suspicious, you know? Like a good example of that is Stu Peters show. That cocksucker came out of nowhere and he got a massive fucking show now, you know? And it's like he has some questionable topics on his show. So, and don't think for a split second that the CIA is beyond putting out fake conspiracy people to make them look stupid, right? Like, I don't know what that iteration looks like today, but they were doing that stuff. Their covert actions, their propaganda that's what they were doing all through the 60s and 70s, you know? And so I don't know what that looks like today, but there's most certainly, I wouldn't even call them ops. I would call them counter ops because that's what they are, because they're trying to counter they're trying to counter the main, not even the main, they're trying to counter this new wave of independent media that's kind of taken over. Right. So it would be counter operations. It wouldn't be just operations. It would be counter operations. And so I don't know if I don't know what that would look like today. And so we have to wonder, is it talk to a girl? I don't think so. She ain't that good looking.
Yeah,
she's a Jew. I don't know, that doesn't help him any. You know, if you're going to plant somebody in the right community, you're not going to do it with a Jew. Period. I mean, they already got Alex Jones.
Oh my goodness! Hey, well, look. From what I've seen, her podcast is already third. Like,
but that's out of but that's like a car crash kind of thing. That's like, a car crash happens and everyone comes out to look and see. Like, I think that's what that is. No one's tuning in because
you think that's what it is.
Of course, it's what it is. I mean, she has no backing or no background in any of this shit. People are just tuning in to see what a car crash it is. You know, that won't last.
Okay. Well, that's fair enough. But she's taken off right here recently. We've seen some other women be able to take off in this particular. Well, I don't think the Hawk Tour girl is even conservative at all. I don't know why they have her up there as something conservative. I guess if a woman wants to suck dick, that's a conservative thing. Is that what that's supposed to mean? I don't even know. I don't see how they put her up there as that. I would see more as like was it like the Riley Gaines and women of that cloth who kind of springboarded into this. Like Riley Gaines, she springboarded into it because she was involved with the transgender.
Well, the big thing is I really don't.
And all that stuff.
Well, obviously, the CIA is in a left-wing state of mind. They're communists. They're pushing for this maintenance of the status quo, and so I just don't really know to what degree I see them getting involved with any kind of counter-op right-wing organization. Creating a fake right-wing organization. I think Donald Trump. I mean, I think Alex Jones is the epitome of that, and he always has been, because he's a guy who gets fed information. He puts that information out. The public reacts to it, and then the government can see how the public reacts to information that they leaked to him in the first place, right? Like that's how Alex Jones has always operated. Whether he's a knowing fucking cuck, I don't know, but I know that he shared a lawyer with Charles Bronfman back in like the 80s. So that's suspect.
Okay.
That's about as sus as it fucking gets. But that's how Alex Jones works. He gets leaked information. He puts the information out. People react to it, and he'll put it out no matter how stupid it is or whatever. Motherfucking aliens got motherfucking tanks in Ukraine, and they're gonna fucking drop a nuke, and he'll put out whatever, and then that's how the intelligence community can kind of gauge the reaction to it, But see, I don't even know if that works too well anymore, because he's become such a cult guy that the left would just automatically reject anything he says, and the right would automatically absorb everything he says. So it's I don't know how. I mean, I guess if you just want to have a direct line to feed information to the right-wing audience, Alex Jones is the perfect person to do it with. Perfect person to do it with.
Gotcha. Well, I guess that could be true, what you just said. That could be actually a true statement. But we got up here that the conservative hot girl isn't a particular new phenomenon. All right. This is what Victoria Kane said. Said women have been positioned through the lens of masculinist imagery in conservative populist politics for a very long time. Is this true?
That's a big word salad. That's a word salad that's just was written on here.
Yeah. I'm not even sure what was said there, or if it had any context or meaning.
Anytime you use the word masculine in any other context, like what word did she use? Where is that word at again?
Masculinist, right here.
There you go. Yeah. Go fuck yourself, you fucking faggot feminist.
Yeah. Well, they said that Doug Emhoff is redefining masculinity.
Oh, is he beating his girlfriend and shit? Yeah.
Yeah, knocked up his nanny and allegedly slapped his girlfriend. It's like, oh yeah, that's the redefinition right there. It's like, man, y'all probably should have picked somebody else. I mean,
and he's a Jew. And here's another thing, fucking Kamala. So we got to talk about Candace Owen real quick. We should talk about this more in depth next week with some clips, but we'll touch on it this week.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah.
Motherfucking Candace Owen has been taking me on I swear to God, it's been like a roller coaster ride. It's been the most exciting thing of my life all week. Literally, this is so funny because I just got a Roku and I fucking got the shit installed on it, and I got YouTube on there, and I fucking, when I get done with my work, I go hop on my bed and I grab my remote and I turn on the fucking YouTube, and literally 4 days in a row, we got the birth of the fucking Candace Owens story on Kamala's lineage. Then I got part 2, 3, and today I sat down and turned it on, and boom, it was part 4. It was just being delivered to me every day. I was like, yes. And so I only got through halfway through today's, but ultimately here's the deal. Fucking Kamala is seemingly not half black Jamaican. Her half black it turns out that her dad is probably only a quarter black to begin with, and that his mother was actually a Jew and Candace Owens goes back through 4 or 5 generations of Kamala's father's side, and is yep, Jews all the way down. And so Kamala is saying that this woman that she's seen in a picture of, her great-grandmother, Miss Iris, who's a black lady, was never her great-grandmother. That's actually the slave help of the Kamala Harris family in Jamaica, because slavery, I guess, was legal there till the early 1900s. And then she was so old that she stayed on with the family because she couldn't do anything else, right? So, and that's Miss Iris, and that is not her great grandmother. That is the help.
Oh, okay.
That the great grandmother is actually a light skinned woman who's of Jewish fucking ancestry. So wild stuff. So why is Kamala lying about all this shit? Because she's like I've been saying, she got that one black ancestor, dude, one, and everybody else is white all the way down. This is what I've been saying for fucking months about these light skins, man. I'm telling you.
I'm gonna corner them off. All right, damn light skins. All right, so all right, light skins. Here's the deal. All right, we don't want to hear anything else from you with your one black ancestor.
No, sorry.
Light skins, stay out the conversation. Okay, we start talking about Negroes getting what they deserve. You see a bunch of light skins come to the forefront. Yeah, it's like, hey, go to the back, okay? Damn it. All right. Heard enough of y'all. Y'all can almost pass as white anyway. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got the keys to both kingdoms. All right, so get the fuck out of here. That's the damn premise there. My goodness, man. So this article goes on to pretty much just say that conservative men are just into beauty in women.
That's fine. That's fine.
Which,
that's.
Which I mean,
what woman doesn't want to be called beautiful?
Yeah, I mean that's of course. You know what I'm saying? Men don't care about that, but women do. So it's just like, can that not be okay?
It should be okay.
It's not okay. Is that I believe that's misogynist in nature.
That's fine. Nobody hates women. It's like so stupid. It's like the phobic thing. Nobody's afraid of you. Like, it's like, do they need to come up with words that actually mean what they mean?
Yeah. Well, it means something close.
Nobody hates women. People want to fuck them a lot. Okay, they don't hate them.
Yeah. Yeah, you see, usually the ones that actually like hate women, like they become serial killers and they off them instead of actually fucking them. So that would be the premise there. So like none of us are serial killers. Well, I say we're not. I say we're not. What's the likelihood of a serial killer listening to the shows that we do? One of them.
I'd say
the likelihood is.
I'd say it's kind of low. I mean, so there's a statistic the FBI got, that there's X amount of serial killers, at any given time in the country. And here's the deal with serial killers, man. I think that you will probably have a decent proportion of serial killers who are in the trucking industry,
Right.
because they can travel. They can never have to double back. They don't have to commit a same offense in the same city twice. You know what I mean? They can spread their shit out to where, and honestly, it's hard to say you get a killing of a certain MO in one state. You know how fucking hard it is to coordinate that with another state? Even when you watch like cold case files and shit, like years will go by with like multiple agencies investigating cases and no one will make a connection for like 5 fucking years. And it'll be by chance that they happen to make a connection somewhere. Then they're like, holy shit, and then they can put a case together. But if you're, see, here's another thing. I don't know if this is a misconception or not, but if you're a serial killer, I kind of associate you with kind of more of a working class, not really, never a rich guy. Very rarely a rich guy. You're not a rich mastermind, like fucking, and you definitely ain't no Dexter, right? Like I see it as kind of like more the uneducated, possibly broken family types, suffered abuse as a child kind of thing, broken home. Those people don't usually go on to be fucking doctors, lawyers, and Indian chiefs, so you got like the BTK killer type. You got like the, who was like a forest ranger or something. You got the Green River killer who was like a handyman type. They get a lot of handyman type, Ted Bundy handyman type. So I just kind of associate them with like a lower class. You know what I mean? Not that they're not smart or capable, but they just are more of the working class. And so that'd be the trucking would attract that kind of person, surely. And especially if they're into killing and they know it and they can get away with it. Because you get a lot of those truck stop hookers that could disappear, like, hey, baby, get in my fucking truck. And then they're not seen again and their body's dumped 3 states away. Easy for that to happen. But how many are that right now? God, who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, that's true.
And I wonder if serial killers do weird shit. Like, serial killer go to North Carolina right now and have a field day. Nobody fucking would know what the fuck, you know?
Mm.
You know, so if you're a serial killer and there's a natural disaster going on, and it's like, what do? Can you go and you take advantage of that situation?
Mm. That's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even think about that.
That's a good plot for a novel, and I'm going to copyright that.
You can seem like help. You can seem like help. Oh yeah, I'm coming to help. I got supplies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, oh man, Corey, that's sinister right there. There's no doubt about that. That's sinister. I want to show you these. This is the other girls that they say that are the right wing hotties, or the women that conservative men see as the right wing hotties. So of course they got the Hawk Tuah girl. Well, she's just okay.
How much money does she make? She make $1 million in this time yet?
But she's got 2.6 million followers on Instagram. But she just made this. Whenever she got famous for saying Hawk Tuah, she didn't have any social media.
How's she gonna explain this to her kids?
And then she got famous. And then all of a sudden it's just like, I don't know. She says she's still banging Pookie, some dude who's not really into her, but makes her pussy twitch. So,
she said that.
Yeah, that's what I consider Pookies. So Pookies is a lot of times women they turn women on, but it's nothing that's going to be long term. It's just something that turns them on, and they go and fuck them, and nothing ever comes of it. No commitment or anything.
She was on SNL.
Yeah, I believe so. yeah, she was on SNL. Yeah, but she's everywhere.
This is so dumb.
Then we got this chick right here is Elizabeth Pipko. I don't know.
She looks like she's from Chechnya.
She got a USA shirt on.
Yeah, but that bitch is Eastern European all day.
Yeah, she doesn't look American, does she?
Yeah.
America.
Bosnia,
and then we got this one.
Someplace weird like that. That's Anna Paulina Luna.
Mm-hmm.
She used to have a bathing suit company, so there's all kinds of pictures of her and T-Bags and stuff out there.
Yep. Yeah, this is another one of Pipko. Okay, she looks a little bit better here.
She looks a little Italian. Who's this one? Oh yeah, that's still Eastern European. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, We the People. I mean, hey, but
that could be an op.
Man, so that was definitely an op. So that was on the picture. Man, so that it said no doubt that one is an op. Okay. But I go, so you gotta have discernment, because man, if you run out and you say everything's an op, everything's a distraction, then you just start looking dumb, and people are like, all right, I'm not listening to you anymore.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's like when I was just sitting there. I made a short video about the prosecutor coming out and saying that more names will be dropped, prominent names will be dropped, and cases will be brought up against them as far as their involvement with Diddy.
People talking about Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Yeah, I've heard some rumors about that, and so I had posed a question. Do you think this is going to happen? Because notoriously, when people get caught for sex trafficking, they get caught for sex trafficking to nobody. You know what I'm saying? Because don't nobody else go to jail.
Yeah. Yep. So which tells me that Diddy didn't hold up his end of a deal somewhere, or he was too much of a wild card, or too reckless, or he was bringing too much attention, and they had to squash it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There is. I promise you, there's already a Diddy up and running already.
Oh yeah, there ain't no doubt about that, and there ain't no doubt in my mind about that. But so I said that, and then somebody posted a comment, "Oh, this is just a distraction for the sheep." I'm like, "Oh my god, man!" Look, can I tell you something? There's a good 95% of people who are just concerned about trying to fucking make it. Like when they wake up in the morning, dude, they're like, man, I got to go to this shit job, and I mean, I just got barely enough just to eat and pay rent. Like most motherfuckers are worried about that. You keep talking about distractions and shit. Most people are distracted with trying to stay alive, trying to have a roof over their head and food in their belly. You know what I'm saying? And feed a family. That's what most people are distracted with. So every time I post something or somebody, oh, sheep distracted, I'm like, dude, that's what gives this side of the table just like a bad rap, man.
Yeah.
Because they just see people just spew that stuff, and they're just like, okay, there's nothing but dumbasses over there. That's what they assume.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As opposed to being intellectual, I mean, you can discuss stuff. Could there be some psyops and things of that nature? Yeah, of course, but you can discuss it in a manner that would be able to be comprehended by other people who may not be in your space, and then maybe we could be taken a little bit more seriously. That's what I think. I think that's the issue that we have. That's the big issue I'm running into. So yeah, Corey, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna jump into the main event. Okay, the main event, which the strike has subsided for now. Okay, the port strike, the longshoremen, temporarily.
Okay. So in the big picture of things, I really don't give a fuck about this story at all. Like this is a distraction, and this is a blip on the radar compared to everything else going on. However, let me tell you a little bit about the longshoremen. Okay, in 1963, November 22nd,
Okay.
1963, actually, the head of the longshoremen union in Cleveland was a guy named Danny Green. Danny Green just also so happened to be the tall tramp in Dealey Plaza who was arrested that day. So, yes, there's a long history of the longshoremen and mob corruption. Albert Anastasia, head of the longshoremen in New York City during the, I believe, 40s and 1950s. So the longshoremen have a long history of being associated with organized crime. So there you go.
Okay. Well, I mean, my man who who's the head of it right now, Daggett. He almost comes off as like a Bob boss. And I think that he's probably not the guy that you should have talking at the forefront. You know what I'm saying? Just because, man, he's made a lot of damn money. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the man made $900,000 last year. It's like, you know, it's like you get out there and you say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna get our just due." And I got a clip on my show right here in a second, and he talked about working during the disease that should not be named. I'm like, dog, a lot of people work during that time. I mean, so you know, you're not getting any brownie points from me. I mean, everybody should have been working actually. Like nobody should have not been at work. I mean, that's straight up the case. But I want to show you I want to show you his crib. The union boss is the one we're gonna get what we deserve. So let's get this up here right now. Here we go. Yeah, he's got his mansion. Let's see what we got here. And of course, before they made the agreement today, he said that they were willing to cripple the economy, which all they were going to cripple is just everyday people. I mean, it's just like it's like, bud. I mean, y'all make a ton of money. I think they said they average between $120,000 $130,000. That's the average pay out there for the longshoremen. And I seen one person was talking about, oh, you know, people say they can't get work. It's like I ain't never seen any of y'all go to the docks. Well, from what I understand, that's not a place that you can just go get a job. Like you need to have a connection. Does that sound right, Corey?
Yeah, and you got to be union connected and all that stuff.
Yeah, so you can't just wake up and just be like, you know what, I need a gig. Maybe they need some help at the port. I don't think you can just go do that.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you want to join the mafia. I don't think you can just walk in there and just be like, hey guys, you know, y'all think y'all got something for me to do? Y'all got something y'all need something ran, lunch picked up. Anything? I mean, I'm here. I don't think that works out. So we got out here. We got his Bentley. This is in New Jersey. He got his Bentley. We see his mansion out here. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-car garage. Okay. Yeah. So this is his crib. 10-acre compound. In-ground pool. Yeah. So when you got somebody up there speaking, maybe they don't need to have this. Okay. I mean, that's usually what that's my thought process. I'm like, maybe this would have more of a punch. Like if you didn't make $900,000 and you didn't have this mansion, I think maybe your words would have a little bit more of a punch. But seeing how that's not the case, this is a little off putting. And we've had, of course, people on both sides speak on it. And we actually had, I don't know if you had it in your area, Corey. We actually had a run on, was it perishable items, toilet paper, once again, bottled water. Over here in our area, Sam's Club was littered with people buying up all that shit.
How far away are you from all the stuff?
From me, to the coast, I'm about 2 hours from the coast.
But you're close. You are close enough to the coast to be away from all the devastation, right?
Oh yeah. All the devastation in North Carolina is completely west, so I'm 5 hours away from that. Yeah, so I'm on the eastern part of the state. We're the ones that usually get hit by all the hurricanes, but I live in the middle of the town, so it's a little bit different because in our area we have a place, we call it across the river, which is still the same area, but it's lower level across the river. So that place just gets completely flooded out, the airport and all that shit. So that's what happened in Hurricane Matthew, if I'm correct. I think that was the last one that hit here. That was pretty devastating. So yeah, I didn't get hit by any of that. But I've got the clip up here of Daggett, and he was speaking to the media. Here we go. The union president himself, and he was speaking to the media about what they wanted, what they deserved. So we're gonna let this roll out right now.
Are you worried that this strike?
They had the capital to settle this thing.
Are you worried that this strike is going to hurt the everyday American, the farmers that need to reach the export market? They're telling me that they're going to hurt.
Now you start to realize who the longshoremen are, right?
Nobody cares.
People never gave a about us until now, when they finally realized that the chain is being broke now. Cars won't come in, food won't come in, clothing won't come in. You know how many people depend on our jobs? Half the world. And it's time for them and time for Washington to put so much pressure on them to take care of us, because we took care of them and we're here 135 years and brought them where they are today, and they don't want to share.
Now,
my gut instinct is like, fuck that guy.
Now, Corey, there's something that was key in this. All right, so they said that they were going to give them. The company had came to terms where it said, "Hey, we'll give y'all a 55% increase in pay over 6 years." Okay, which is damn good. 55% increase, son of a bitch. Well, they were saying they wanted a 77% increase. Okay, I think they ended up meeting in the middle at 62%. That is the tentative terms. But here is the key thing that they are concerned about. It is the automation. They want the contract to say that the company is not allowed to automate at all. Period. That is what they're trying to fight against.
So here's a problem. You have a micro problem and a macro problem here.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously. And so the longer term macro problem that needs to be addressed is that, unfortunately, automation should take over everything. That's ultimately what needs to happen from the perspective of not only business, but just human societal evolution, to free up these kind of jobs And this is theory now. We're talking theory. In theory now, if those jobs are freed up, then what it really takes is that human spirit to be able to reallocate those people, to be able to come up with a new way to find new roles for individuals in a society that's going to be automated everywhere. You know what I mean? The micro problem is these people are all going to lose their fucking jobs, right? And so, but we can't not evolve because a few people will lose their jobs. These people will recover. They'll get on unemployment. They'll get another job. They'll do something, and they're not just going to fucking die. You know what I mean? So, I got to say the automation thing should be a non-issue because that's happening no matter what the fuck you want. No matter what, it's happening no matter what.
Yeah,
so
that is the issue, though. So they came to a tentative agreement until January the 15th, but they still have this on the table where they want the company to say to them that they will not automate at all.
I don't see how they can ever get them to do that. So here's what's going to happen.
I don't either.
Here's what's going to happen. Mr. 900 grand is going to take a bribe.
Who?
And he's going to convince everybody else it's okay that they didn't get the automation in the contract.
So you think they're going to slip them some dust?
Did you see that? You see that motherfucker's house?
I did. Yeah, I did. I did see his house. There ain't no doubt about it. I did see it. Damn, but that's why I'm just like, man, you know, and like I seen other people have put out videos talking about, hey, you know, I'm part of a union, and it's like y'all, I mean, y'all are stupid. It's like this shit, like it's gonna happen. And on top of that, y'all already make a lot of fucking money. I mean, it said I don't want y'all to don't be out here pretending that y'all don't make a lot of money. It's like y'all make that, y'all make overtime. I think they said that a base pay you start at about 80 grand. With the opportunity for overtime and everything to make up to upwards anywhere between 130 to 150 grand. That's starting off.
Yeah,
that's starting off. So I mean, I don't think people realize this, but there's not a whole lot of people out there making 100 grand a year.
No, and it's really sad because, like, I remember growing up in the 80s and the 90s thinking, you know, back in the 90s, if you had a $50,000 a year job, you was okay. You was good, right?
You were way okay. You were way okay.
Yeah, so I grew up in an era where I kept shooting for a $50,000 a year job. You know what I mean? To me, that was great. You can still get by on 50 grand today. You can still get by on it. I mean, you could have your own place and pay all your bills and stuff, depending on what city you're living in. It gets a little harder if you got a family and stuff, but for a single person, 50 grand's okay. The idea that these motherfuckers making 120, 130,000 is like, even in fucking New York or New Jersey, I don't want to hear it. That's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah. Like you're doing well.
Yes.
Like you're doing okay. I mean, even adjusted for inflation. Now, here's the problem, Corey. Most people don't have a money problem; they have a spending problem. That's the issue. Is that once the revenue goes up, then they make crazy increases in their life with the revenue, and so they end up blowing the money.
Yeah. So I've done that enough times in my life, and I've mismanaged money enough times in my life that if you gave me $1 million fucking dollars, I would have like the pimpest $100,000 apartment there is. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to be buying no big ass shit like that. I would have all that money in Bitcoin sitting in a wallet somewhere for the fucking future.
So you telling me that you wouldn't get your $900,000 mansion, $1 million mansion?
No, never.
Go about it right out the gate.
Never. Not in a million years. I get me a fucking simple condo, like a 1,500 square foot condo, 2-bedroom or something like that.
There you go, and that would be enough. Like if people actually approach life that way, then everybody would have plenty. Like this is not even the discussion. It's not even up for debate. So I got another clip right here from Daggett. He did an interview right here recently. So let's listen to this one.
Those are, by the way, those are $1,500 sunglasses he's wearing. I don't know if you know that or not.
Are they?
Yeah, I saw someone did a breakdown of them. I saw it earlier. I watched a video earlier today, and they broke it down. Those are like some fancy Dolce Gabbanas or something.
Oh, holy shit!
You got balls the size of watermelons. You're going to show up to contract negotiation with some $1,500 sunglasses saying, "Use a broke ass nigga. Give me a break."
So he said, "What are you? Hey, I'm a BAN. Yeah, broke ass nigga. That's what I am." I said, "Bro, you your mansion and your damn $1,500 sunglasses. Hold on a second now."
Look at that gold chain. Look at his chain. How much do you think that gold chain is? You think he should have worn like the leather one with the leather one with the fucking cross on it is what he should have wore.
Yeah, that's what he should have worn. Yeah, the one handmade. You know what I'm saying? By damn candlelight.
This fucking guy. This guy should be terminated.
But today's world, it's changing into the future. They're not making millions no more. They're making billions. And they're spending it fast as they make it. I want a piece of that for my men. Because when they made their most money was during COVID. When my men had to go to work on those piers every single day, when everybody stayed home and went to work. Not my men. They died out there with the virus. We all got sick with the virus.
I mean, you heard that, didn't you?
The virus with the 99.8% survival rate, that one?
He said they died out there with it. Right on the damn dock. I mean, fell right out. Just like they had on that video in China where my man just fell over. I'm not sure if he was shot in the back of the head. They just edited it out. I mean, I'm like, come on now.
We kept them going. From Canada to Maine to Texas, Great Lakes, Puerto Rico, now the Bahamas. Everybody went to work during COVID. Nobody stayed home. Well, I want to be compensated for that. I'm not asking for the world. They know what I want. They know what I want. And if they don't, well, then I have to go into the street and we have to fight for what we rightfully deserve.
You got to go into these streets.
These people today don't know what
Yeah, that's what he's doing. He going in these streets, but
strike is. Right. When my men hit the streets from Maine to Texas, every single port, a lockdown. You know what's going to happen? I'll tell you. First week, be all over the news every night.
Okay, this guy is such an amateur. It's unfucking believable. Like anybody with skill or tact in this position would not be doing it like this at all. They would have much more sophisticated routes of pulling the strings to get their way. Instead of going on the news,
they would have a different approach.
Someone who actually had tact and understood what the fuck the deal was and really wanted to do this would have a much. He wouldn't come off like a thug like this guy. This guy comes off like your typical New York thug, low IQ.
Yeah, that's what it kind of felt like to me, like my mafia tactics. You know what I'm saying? He almost got
and that don't fly.
About him.
You can't pull the mafia tactics with the fucking even with big corporations. They'll be like, "Fuck you." We'll have somebody sit on your house and harass your wife. Fuck off. Like the corporations are the mafia now,
Yeah, that's true.
Guys who sell cars can't sell cars because the cars ain't coming in off the ships. They get laid off. Third week, malls start closing down. They can't get the goods from China. They can't sell clothes. They can't do this. Everything in the United States comes on a ship. They go out of business. Construction workers get laid off because the materials aren't coming in. The steel's not coming in. The lumber's not coming in. They lose.
Someone with tact could get all this across in like 3 words. Really, someone who understood what the fucking deal was and had a mastery of the language could fucking say all this thug shit in like 1 sentence. And that's it would be a mic drop moment. This guy's a joke. He ain't destined for this. He ain't destined long for what he's doing. They're going to replace him.
Okay. In the longshoremen now, because now they realize how important our jobs are. Now I have the president screaming at me, "I'm putting a Taft-Hartley on you." Go ahead. Taft-Hartley means I have to go back to work for 90 days. That's a cooling off period. Do you think when I go back for 90 days, those men are going to go to work on that pier? It's going to cost the company's money to pay their salaries. Well, they went from 30 moves an hour maybe to 8. they're going to be like this. Who's going to win here in the long run? You're better off sitting down and let's get a contract and let's move on with this world. In today's world, I'll cripple you.
For a minute, what am I watching? The Penguin?
You.
Hey, man said he'll cripple you, bud.
And you have no idea what that means. Nobody does.
Okay, so I have no doubt there's like a corporate wing of the CIA that sends people out to like break guys like that kneecaps.
You think so?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I promise the CIA has a division that just monitors corporate espionage shit and just does corporate espionage. Guaranteed.
Okay. Now, I have an actual, I have one more clip to show, and it's not of him. It's of somebody else giving a kind of an explanation or an interesting theory about the port strikes. And this has actually went pretty viral. 1.5 million views of this guy. And it's a little lengthy, so I want to go ahead and let this thing play out right now. And I just want to get your thoughts on it, Corey, as far as what he's talking about here. So I'm going to let this play out.
What's up, everybody? So I wanted to ring in because everybody's freaking out about the whole Longshoremen strike and all this other stuff. And I want to give you my opinion. So here's what's really what I believe is going on, and everything basically lines up to this. The ports that we have right now are U.S. ports. They didn't become U.S. ports until after the War of 1812. In the treaty from the War of 1812, U.S. American ports were made U.S. ports. And shipping, international shipping, right, international maritime commerce, would not go to American ports anymore. So those ports have inherently been dismantled since America lost the War of 1812. Okay, and you can say, I know what your textbook said, that's a lie. You can go to Fort McHenry and literally read about how, like, America lost the War of 1812. So, with the American national flag that flies above Fort McHenry. So, what happened is after the War of 1812, there was a systematic dismantling of the American Republic. It happened over decades, centuries, okay? And ultimately in 1964, when the Reconstruction Trust expired, the American Republic went dormant. The American and the NATO became the security agency for all of North America because there's no domestic trust, there's only foreign policy and foreign trusts.
Is any of this ringing for you, Corey?
Not
what do you
really.
think so far?
I mean, he might be citing actual history, but it's the implications of that he's going to make. What the fuck's his point? Is what I'm trying to see. He's going to say some shit like they're not really American ports and we're giving them to some fucking. But he's going to come up with some nonsensical twist shit at the end, and I hate when people do this. But all right, let's go ahead and keep watching.
Okay.
What's happened is in August of 2023, a domestic American People's Common Trust was delivered to the United States Marine Corps and the United States Navy, or the United States Army, summoning them to return to the American people, the indigenous, who are now called indigenous in world trade, international trade, summoning them to the ministry of the American Republic so that the Marine Corps could take their original American Continental Marine position to guard the American Continental Congress, and the American regular army to assume its judge advocate marshal general roles for law courts and equity courts, and to bring the USMCA treaty that was enacted in July of 2020 back to America, the Republic. So the U.S. ports, the Navy, is who has to move these assets, because the Navy is in charge of the civil law, civil personnel, so they're in charge of the transfer from foreign to domestic, now that there's a domestic trust. The Army, the Navy, and the Marine Corps are all in possession of the American People's Common Trust. They are moving the assets and reactivating the original Declaration of Independence and American Constitution trusts that include the Bill of Rights, so they can then open those courts and open those systems. But the Navy has to take control with the Coast Guard of American ports. That's why you're not hearing the agreements for the Longshoremen were not between the International Longshoremen's Association and the U.S. Maritime. Well, the U.S. Maritime is out because under USMCA, this becomes an international American issue, not a United States Article 1 Congress issue, removing the federal government and NATO's jurisdiction over U.S. ports that will now be American ports. And if you refer to the Treaty of 1812, it was specific in that treaty that ships conducting admiralty or maritime law across the high seas were not allowed to use American ports. They were only allowed to use U.S. ports. So that is being returned back to American ports by the Navy to bring the Army and the Marines back on to the land of America, to the people of America and the inhabitants of America per the Liberty Bell, and reset and separating the people from their subjugation under the U.S. Congress and their federated corporate states. So I hope this explains. Please share, because I get censored all the time. This is my opinion.
This is ridiculous.
I know where the trust came from. I know who wrote the trust. I've read the trust. I've seen the trust. I know what the trust is, and I know exactly the dates that it was delivered and exactly where it went and exactly how it got there. So I have participated in this process of delivery and the correspondence between the military and the American people. So, share.
What American people? This is some nonsense. It has no bearing in reality at all.
Yeah, so I'd seen that pop up, and a lot of people had looked at it, and so I wanted to get your take on what he was talking about to see, because you are the resident historian. I wanted to see if any of that had any merit or
I
made any
fucking
sense.
hate when people say like, "Oh, well, we're gonna do this because of the Treaty of 1812." It's like, bitch, we don't even stick to laws we passed 2 years ago, but we're gonna stick to some treaty from 200 years ago. Go fuck yourself. Like, people have no common fucking sense whatsoever. Period. Understand what's going on in America. Mm-hmm. Okay, when the Jews killed Kennedy, they took over our country on November 22nd, 63. And everything else has been a lawless fucking cesspool. That's what's been going on. That's it. Okay?
That's it to a T.
Yeah. It's as simple as it gets. These motherfuckers are destroying our country on purpose. Okay? So the idea that there's anything going back to the American people or anything constitutional or 1812 treaties is like, fuck off. Give me a break. Next thing you know, the fucking Knights Templar are going to come and save us.
Come on, the Knights Templar.
That's how ridiculous this shit is. Seriously.
Hey, are they still around? The Knights Templar?
They got as much relevance as the Treaty of 1812.
They said they were active from 1119 till March 22nd of 1312. So I think they've been gone for a while. I think they're gonna make a return. I don't think they're gonna make the return. Hey, that's what we should start back up. Can we start this back up? Do I have to be what's this Catholic? Okay, French military or French? Is that right? French Military Order of Catholic Faith. Damn, it was French. Is that right, Corey?
I thought it was British, but yeah, it could be French.
Damn. You think we can reprise that? I'm pretty sure somebody in my lineage was from France. Hey, everybody else is passing us everything else.
Right.
I'm gonna bring. We're gonna bring back the Knights Templar. Beyond the Keep is gonna bring it back. We're gonna send out cards, registration cards. You become one of the honorary members of the Knights Templar. Hey, we might even do live ceremonies. You know what I'm saying? Where we knight you. I think we can do that. We'll get swords and shit. How about you think it calls for us to get this garb? Like we want to look like this. Well,
we might have to.
maybe not
Yeah,
like this.
we might have to wait
Maybe
for
not
the.
like this guy.
No, bro. We gotta wait for this.
Arrow in you.
We gotta wait for the Spirit Halloween store to open up.
Oh yeah. Oh, here we go. Do you think we could look like this? You think? I mean, hey, this all looks good until you look like this guy right here. And you got an arrow in your shoulder. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's all fun and games till you got that arrow in your shoulder right there. That's some bad looking stuff. That's for the Knights Templar. This is a rough ending. It's all good. So the Longshoremen, they went back to work right now. Okay, they're gonna work until January the 15th. Oh, when is the inauguration of the president?
January 20 something.
Okay. So I guess January 15th, that would be was that 90 days from now? Is that right? 11, 12. No, that's less than 90 days. Is that right?
Yeah.
Right around so
right around there.
It seems like a weird time. Seems like a weird time to put. So, oh yeah, we're gonna work till January 15th, and then the new president gets inaugurated on January 20th. So could it depend on which one gets put in on whether things will go well or not? I mean, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Now we do know the one conspiracy that we know without a doubt is true, which is the damn mail-in ballots. The convict was used for the mail-in ballots for the thievery. There's no doubt about that. I mean, like that's paint that in stone, bud. You know what I'm saying? You use blood on stone. There's no doubt about that. So could this, depending on if Trump wins, and I don't know how the union sits with these candidates. I don't know if they're more pro Harris or pro Biden. I haven't heard that from them per se. They did say that it felt like Biden abandoned them. So I don't know if that means they're pro Trump. They may or may not be. What are most unions? Are most unions more liberal? You see, I don't know.
Oh, I don't even know. I think it depends.
Yeah, I wouldn't know right offhand. So that could be an interesting concept at that point in time. Let's say that Trump wins and it gets January 15th, and now this particular settlement that they've had for this point in time kind of dissolves, and let's say they go on strike for the next 90 days, 180 days. You know, what could things look like right there off him winning that presidency? So that could be a very interesting turn of events if he was to win the presidency, and then that took off right afterwards. That could be something that could be, that would be a major talking point for a lot of your media outlets and news networks. But I feel like he could probably get something done to get their ass back out there. Or if you just do like I say, just go ahead and start putting the machines out there. I said that's fine. We just drop everybody. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? They showed that one video of the people in China. They got fucking 12-year-olds in there moving the damn ship containers with damn joysticks. I seen that shit. I said, but they got all these Chinamen in there, boy. I said, ain't none of them got no facial hair or nothing, boy. They look like they 10-year-old. They just sitting there just like that. They moving shit around. So
I don't think
that's what
Chinese
they're
have
scared
facial
of.
hair.
That's
We're
true.
gonna
It's
we're gonna
Japanese that got
we're
facial
gonna
hair.
we're gonna look this up for next week's show.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what we might have to kick it off with. Is there?
The Ling Lings have beards.
Well, hopefully not the women. Hot damn. I mean, my goodness, do they have beards? Oh, have mercy. So that's this episode of Beyond the Cube. Let us know y'all's thoughts on everything in the comment section below. Or if you listen to us on podcast platforms. Hey, rate the show, leave comments. Hey, when y'all are watching us, put comments up here, and I mean, I'll read them. You know what I'm saying? We'll interact with you. So put your comments and thoughts up here. We'll read them live. We do appreciate. I know Chris has been in the chat. Andy has because they've commented. We've had Robert Bale in there. When my man was talking earlier, he said common law jargon, no meat. There was no meat involved there. But I do like potatoes, so I mean, I'm not even sure if he had that. I think it was just all vegetables, so I'll pass. You know what I'm saying? I'll pass on that. So yeah, we appreciate everybody for checking us out. Make sure Saturday is a UFC event. Pereira, Roundtree. Okay. Corey, predictions right off the gate.
The other guy.
Oh, you think Roundtree's gonna win?
Yes, I do.
Oh shit! So an upset. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Is there any particular reason why?
Yes.
You just feel
it? Pereira came out and tried to do this fucking Aztec thing to intimidate him, and he's like, fuck you. I don't get intimidated by that shit. So that's it.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So hopefully we'll be doing that on the What Is Truth podcast. That would be on Rockfin. All right. Be me, Corey, Steve, and Wheezy. All right. And if they don't do it, Corey, get it with me, and then we'll probably have to end up doing it ourselves. So I'll be prepared for that this go around. So make sure y'all check us out on that. That'll be this Saturday, probably late night. Also, Day Zero, Sundays, 5 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you're supporting Corey. Bloody History .substack. Okay. Best historian on the web. Okay. #1 historian. Also, #1 JFK historian. All right. Get his book on Amazon.com. A Warner from History. And the second edition will be coming out next year.
I'm thinking January, February. I only got, I got to knock out 4 chapters. I don't think it's gonna be that hard. It's only about 100 pages. So.
Okay. So we're thinking January, February, second edition. So make sure y'all are copping that. Get the first edition, get the second edition. Make sure putting all that support in. Like I said, the Bloody History .substack. Corey's posting daily. Okay, daily. So make sure y'all getting in on that. Mein Kampf jumped into that.
You come over if you want to learn the truth about Uncle H. That's where you come.
Now, some people may say that that's, a little out of bounds, Corey. You know what I'm saying?
I don't care.
You got to say to those people.
I obviously got a black friend, so what the fuck is people complaining about?
Hey, that's all you got to rely on, guys. Hey, you say, hey, man, I got one black friend, so I mean, fuck y'all. Many y'all got. Y'all woke liberals ain't got no black friends, but y'all be out here trying to cape for black folks with your racist ass. So yeah, make sure y'all join us for all that. Showtime with the Cube be coming to y'all next week. We'll be covering the next episode of the Penguin. We're gonna have the Rings of Power for you. We're gonna be looking at Trap. Plan on doing Salem's Lot. Me and Corey's gonna be busy, so stay tuned. We'll be doing those live as well. So from your boy HQ420, the co-host, the powerful one, the immaculate one, Corey Hughes. We'll catch you on the next Beyond the Cube. Peace out.